Hey you guys, how are you? Welcome to today's video, and I am so excited to chat about today's topic because I truly believe that what we're talking about today is one of the most vital and important pieces to your entire journey when it comes to your health and fitness goals. This is something that completely changed my mindset. It changed how I speak to myself, how I show up in this world, how I start each and every day, and truthfully, my mental health. It allowed me to feel like I'm seen, I am heard, that it's okay to be in this world and be exactly who I'm meant to be, to no longer settle or hold myself back from incredible opportunities that are truly meant for me. And that all comes down to personal development. Now, there are so many different types of personal development that you can be doing, honestly, each and every day. So, probably in later videos, I'm going to dissect those a little bit more. But today, I really want to talk about reading, right? Because in personal development, we have our journaling, we have our reading, we have our audible books, we have conferences we can go to, we have courses we can be doing, all of these other things. But truthfully, at the very beginning, I think sitting down with a book is something that's going to help so much. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to share with you guys a few of the books that totally helped me change my perspective, and hopefully it can help you. Now, when I first started doing personal development, which was in 2016 when I first signed up to become a coach. I was in my very first challenge group, exactly like this, and they talked about personal development. And I remember seeing personal development on friends' Instagram stories and Snapchats, and they were doing personal development. And I'm like, you are a freaking weirdo, right? You are weird. Why are you doing personal development? But what I later learned was personal development was one of my favorite things. I loved as a kid listening to Tony Robbins, a motivational speech. When I was a figure skater, I always had personal development, like motivational speeches and movie speeches in my head that would get me fired up. And listening to them, I'm like my disc man, right? When's the last time you said disc man? So this was something that I was like, wait, this is like a whole area in the world that we can be a part of, that we can learn from, that we can grow from. And what I ended up learning is personal development is really about stepping into exactly who you are. And I love to say it's like peeling the onion layers off of you, right? Just like Shrek. They always say there's a layer and a layer and a layer. I'm just like an onion. And that's what personal development is. I find as we've gone through this world that we have kind of had to put on so much armor. We had to put on so many different layers of ourselves to be accepted by groups, to be accepted by this group and that group, and to show up in this world because maybe at one point you were told that you were too loud, or you shouldn't be this way, or you can't show up that way, or don't talk around adults, or don't do this. And you've put on all of this layers that sometimes you walk around and you feel really unfulfilled because you don't know who you are anymore. You don't know how to show up in this world anymore. You don't know who you are, right? And one of the ways that I kind of like to describe this is I want you to think of like your favorite day ever. Your favorite day ever. Maybe it was like the day you fell in love with your spouse. Maybe it was a day that you were out with your girlfriends. Maybe it was a day that you were like at your job and you were killing it, right? It was like the best day ever. You got to like totally enjoy it and you just felt light. You just felt like nothing could go wrong that day. You felt totally confident, and you had this like aura about you. That is something that I hope you strive for every single day. And how we get to that is through personal development. Each and every morning, my personal development piece, my morning routine, I am channeling that energy to start showing up in the way that I am. And a lot of that comes from peeling back those layers and healing our heart. A lot of us have been hurt from family members, loved ones, friends, right? We all have different traumas in our life, and everybody's trauma is special to them, and everybody's heart is special to them. But personal development and reading books is a way to help you move through those, is a way to help you learn that guess what? You're worthy. You are worthy. You're allowed to take up space in this world. You're allowed to be exactly who you're meant to be. You have purpose. And it is so incredible when you find a book that speaks to you. You're going to find different areas that you're going to grow into. Maybe it's your spirituality. Maybe it is your confidence. Maybe it is relationships. You're going to find all of these little pieces that are all built into personal development. And it's time for you to kind of just like rip the band-aid off and start showing up that way. And I am so excited to share that with you guys. I often hear a lot of people say like, I'm too tired, or I don't have enough energy, or maybe I should just like pull back a little bit. And I think that's when people need to lean into personal development the most. I think that's when they really need to start healing their heart. They really need to start leaning into what they're holding themselves back from. And because a lot of the time when we are tired, a lot of the times we feel drained, a lot of the times that, you know what, maybe there's not even a lot going on, but your energy is so low, it's because you haven't connected with that vibrant higher self, that self of you that is so bright and bold and beautiful and confident. Bernie, I don't know if you guys could hear that. He just like let out the biggest like sigh and snore ever. That man needs some personal development in his life. So personal development is so important. It is the biggest piece because guess what? You can exercise as much as you want to. You can eat all of the right things, but if you don't heal your heart and the thoughts that you have in your brain and the things that you say to yourself each and every day, or the people you hang out with, if you don't heal that stuff, you're never going to be truly happy. You're never going to hit that next level of results. You're going to continue to chase, but you're going to get burnt out. And when you bring this piece into your life, that's when things get easy. That's when things start flowing. That's when things start to make so much sense and you have so much more joy and ease and light to exactly who you are. So I wanted to share with you guys a few of the things, a few of the books that were some of my favorite when I first started out. I don't have it with me because I rented it out, but the first book I ever read was The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. This book was so incredible, and it really talks about how when you start your journey, say you have a twin or a sibling, and there's going to be one of you who commits to their nutrition and commits to their workouts and maybe chooses a little bit more veggies than the other, and maybe focuses a little bit more on walking each day or kind of parking a little bit further. And their life, they see that it goes up and up and up and up and kind of goes on this nice hill. And their twin or their friend, they're on the same journey alongside of them, but then they kind of just start falling off. And it's the compound effect of how our tiny little decisions that we have each and every day really dictate our future. So I recommend that book first and foremost, Darren Hardy's The Compound Effect. Another incredible author that I love is Gabrielle Bernstein. I have read this book time and time again. I do her meditations daily. And what I would suggest is starting out with the book, The Universe Has Your Back. I started out with that book. I read Judgment Detox, and Super Attractor is so beautiful and exciting, and something that I'm actually thinking I'm going to be diving into a little bit more because I'm starting to dial back my social media time and really wanting to dive into more books and reread some of the incredible books that I have. So Gabrielle Bernstein is amazing. If you don't follow her on social media, you got to do that. Another book, this was actually my second personal development book I ever freaking read, is Jen Sincero's You Are a Badass. You guys have probably seen this everywhere. It was so huge a few years ago, and I absolutely love it. It's an easy read, and it just gets you. It gets it. You just have to read it. Okay. So this is something that I want you guys to dive into, is You Are a Badass. Such an incredible book, and you'll just know it when you read it. The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Robin Sharma is such an incredible author. Just the way that he speaks and he writes and tells stories that connect with you. It is such a beautiful freaking book. So 5 a.m. Club, Robin Sharma. And of course, Untamed by Glennon Doyle. If you have not been diving into her podcast, We Can Do Hard Things, You have to. It's incredible. This book is just all about living in that true light, that true self that you have, and really showing up. Now, before you start saying, well, Britt, I can't read, I don't have time, yada, 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 blah, 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 excuse, excuse, excuse. I'm calling you out on it. I was never a reader. I was never somebody who loved to read. I despised reading. I can remember when I was a kid, my sister would just love reading books, right? She would love reading bedtime stories. She would read novel after novel after novel. And my dad tried to sit with me each and every night to read a book, and it was like pulling teeth. It was like the worst thing ever. I didn't read a book in high school. I didn't read like any of my university books that I was supposed to. I found the easiest and best ways that I could find it on YouTube or Cliff Notes. And I would find those ways because I despised reading so much. But I knew that becoming a coach, I knew doing these challenges and really starting to show up for myself and deciding that, hey, guess what? There's a huge piece to this puzzle and its personal development. I knew that I had to dive in. And what I started with was just 5 minutes. I would set a timer on my phone and I would just read for 5 minutes. Sometimes that would be 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages. I would just set my timer for 5 minutes. That was it. And as I was drinking my Energize, I would get that reading in. And then it turned into 5 pages. I would challenge myself to reading 5 pages each day. Now, this is exactly something that when you're doing your morning routine, when you're waking up early, this is exactly what you want to be doing. You want to get this incredible knowledge, this uplifting stuff into your mind, the stuff that's going to make you feel good. Having that as you're drinking your Energize and going and doing your workout, having those little daily habits compounding over time, you're going to start feeling so good. So, like I said, I started with 5 minutes, then it was 5 pages, and now it's 10 pages. And like I said, you might be saying, well, Britt, I don't have time. I can't do that. Well, this is the challenge to you of number one, how much do your goals mean to you? How much does your future self mean to you? How badly do you want the results and the life that we decided to do with our vision boards? How badly do you truly want that in this life? And it's time for you to start showing up that way. And how you do it is diving into this sort of things. It's getting off of YouTube. It's getting off of TikTok. It's getting off of Instagram. And I love that you watch my stories every day, but it's time for you to start putting in the work with your own personal development each and every day. So, in the comments down below, I would love to hear what book you're reading, or what book you're about to order. Maybe it's one of the ones that I've suggested. And what is your goal? How many books are you going to do before the end of the year, right? How many books can you read before the end of the year? Are you going to do one a month? Are you going to do two a month? How many books are you going to be reading? And more importantly, I want to know what works best for you. Are you a 5 minute reader? Are you a 5 page reader? A 10 page reader? Let me know. And I want to know how you're doing. My bonus challenge to you, and the most important piece, honestly, is I challenge you to spend your 5 minutes or your 5 pages a day for the rest of the month. I want you for the next 20 days to show up for yourself. I want you to dive in and I want you to journal out how you feel today. And then when we're on day 30, when we have finished this challenge and this month, I want to know, how has this personal development piece changed and shifted and made you feel? And I mean, what better way to do that together? So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Enjoy this and make sure you guys complete the challenge.